Ooh, I debated recording this because I really don't know. I've kind of had like the dreading feeling with speaking, but I really wanted to talk about my experience with passing the last couple of days. If it wasn't obvious, I am a transgender woman, so there are some aspects of my existence that can cause me great mental strife, and one of them has been passing recently. More so recently than not, because previously I had the idea in my head that I passed pretty decently. And I know for a fact that if you go online and you ask people or talk to people, they tend to be assholes and look more deeply into those things so that they can further be assholes. Even with knowing that, it ruins your confidence in a sense, you know? I've always been aware that I have, say, a very low voice, and I have a very strong square face. I'm aware of that. I painfully so, or large features like my big ass nose, or large hands, or broad shoulders and narrow hips, etc. I mean, I would have to know that I have those features, right? Considering I have to see them frequently enough. I think that for me to not know would be odd, per se. Well, maybe it wouldn't be odd because a lot of people aren't that perceptive. But I feel like for me, it just doesn't really make all that much sense. But so the issue isn't them knowing per se, more as it is how quick it is, and yeah. And if I have, if I try to respond in like a snarky way, which I understand is perhaps not the best way of going about that, it often results in a very not snarky, but just rude response, which I mean, justified because I was being a bit of a fuckwit, but whatever. Um, but yeah, and in some ways, I worry about now recently, having been online and such, is my voice, because I knew my face was a problem, but my voice, because as I've gotten better at speaking higher and more bright, now I wonder if I just sound like a freaking gay dude or something, because it often gets prompted to be ridiculed by people. So let's just say I don't do that stuff anymore, starting as of today, hopefully. Um, but yeah, it is a source of ridicule from a couple of people. So that tells me that it's not really this inconspicuous thing that I have going on. More so a clear imitation, which is unfortunate. And even if I know that it's not because of my own fault in a sense, it still hurts because you don't feel like you're good enough. And because even if you can recognize that there is a problem, I mean, you don't know what you're going to do about it. And you yeah. The other thing that I have to know, that I know about myself, is because since I'm relatively early on in my transition, it's been about a year. I'm not going to pass as well as somebody who's been in for 10, 15 years, right? But knowing that gives you that sort of regret. You're like, why didn't I do this earlier so I could have had more time or whatnot? But yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, so my voice has been a question of choice. And then, of course, if you are given that little bout of insecurity, suddenly you go and you question everything. So now I've been questioning, well, in real life, people tend to be not notice or whatever. But I'm like, well, what if they do notice and they just haven't been assholes about it? Like, there's a chance that that's how it is. And I mean, that's better than them noticing and being assholes about it. I think I'd be a lot more depressed if that were the case. But, you know, you still question it. You're like, oh, well, how is it? I don't know, right? um, but yeah, it's an oddity to know, to, you know, feel that way. And then when somebody genuinely doesn't recognize the fact, suddenly you think in your head, well, they're just trying to be nice to me. I know what I look like. I know what I sound like. And it's this... in some ways, you don't even feel like a human, I would say. You feel like you're this corrupted beast. Even if you're not, right? I would hope. I mean, if somebody called me a corrupted beast, I'd probably be offended. But yeah. I don't know. But it's definitely a lot to deal with. And you can tell that my eyes are like looking at my face as I'm saying this, because the eye line is lower than where my camera is, because my camera's here. And that might affect the resolution of the results or whatnot. But it's because you're so focused on the way that you look and sound and everything, right? I don't want to turn to the side. I mean, I can demonstrate for you. I'm not a huge fan of how I look from the side, because it's very obvious, like, what I look like from the side compared to the front. Or if I look up, I mean, it's not a large protrusion in my neck, but it's present. But yeah, it's certainly strange to think about. And when you try to converse with somebody and they're just, yeah, it's also interesting if you're conversing with somebody and you're having a great conversation with them, and then they figure it out, and then, well, shit, you're done for. Yeah, more things that I have tried to get myself to do recently is to talk with like a more smiling face. Not because I think it'll make me look better or anything, but precisely because I used to avoid it, because I thought that it made me look more masculine, and I kind of just naturally look that way, so I just kind of naturally have a horse face, and I can't really do anything about that. So, I mean, I could get surgery, but that's expensive and painful, and I don't think that I'm old enough to do that, since I'm not even close to my 30s or anything like that, which is, I think that's the age that most people get their surgeries in. I don't know. But, yeah. But yeah, it's strange, you know? Also getting told, like, they're getting told that you need surgery, that's also not helpful. Even if the person is trying to be nice about it, it's like, yeah, okay. You think I don't fucking know? You think I don't know? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting. Yeah. And then you just feel like this unattractive, you feel like Jabba the Hutt.